What up, Rafflators? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a topical issue that concerns Guyanese politics. It has to do with citizenship, the value of Guyanese citizenship, and the recent requirement by the courts that members of parliament be sole Guyanese citizens. That means that dual citizenship is now an exclusion from membership of the National Assembly. Stay tuned.
Oh, this is my day. I'm ready to take it on, come what may.
So guys, since the no confidence motion passed last December and Charandas Prasad fled the country back to Canada where he has second citizenship, the government has been in a state of flux, a state of uncertainty. Right? Guyanese have been in a holding pattern waiting for things to become clear. Right? We've been waiting for clarity. And certain things are now becoming clear. One of these things is that members of parliament are now going to be required to have sole Guyanese citizenship. In other words, the court has interpreted the constitution to mean that persons holding dual citizenship are not allowed to be members of the National Assembly, which means that Charandas Prasad and several members of parliament are no longer allowed to be members of the National Assembly. So since then, 3 of the coalition government's members of parliament and ministers have resigned, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of Business, and the Minister of the Presidency. However, there are several other parliamentarians from the opposition who have not yet resigned. And there is pressure now mounting to get those members of parliament to resign. There are arguments from the diaspora, people who don't live in Guyana, but people who are members, who are citizens of, say, the United States and Canada, who are arguing that Guyana stands to lose if it uses this law to exclude Guyanese with dual citizenship from serving in the National Assembly. And their argument is that people like the Minister of Foreign Affairs are very, very skilled and very brilliant and have a lot of history and institutional knowledge, and all of this will be lost if they're not allowed to participate in the National Assembly. And of course, I disagree. And now I'm going to give you 4 reasons and 1 bonus reason, total of 5 reasons, why I think it's a good idea to impose the law restricting persons with dual citizenship from the National Assembly of Guyana. So let's go. Number 1 is people who do not have Guyanese citizenship alone should not be making laws for Guyana. In other words, people who have second citizenship in another country should not be making laws for Guyanese. That is because they are not required to abide by those laws, to live under those laws. They can simply abscond if they get into problems. The law coming after them, they can simply flee to the country where they have second citizenship. And that's exactly what happened when Charandas Prasad left the jurisdiction, went back to Canada where he has second citizenship. So that's number 1 reason. Number 2 is because you can become a foreign agent. In other words, you can be used as a spy. If you are a citizen of another country, say the United States, it would be very easy for the United States to impose a requirement on you to cooperate with the CIA, for example, or if you're a British citizen, with the MI5, MI6, because as a citizen of those countries, your loyalty is to the intelligence agencies of your country, to the national security interests of your country. So you could easily be forced into spying for your second country in Guyana on Guyanese. So reason number 3 is because as a member of the National Assembly, you have access to the nation's secrets, right? So you should be required to have national security clearance to be in the National Assembly and have access to the secrets of the nation. But if you are a dual citizen, you're a citizen of another country, say Canada or the United States or the United Kingdom, you now are in a position where our national secrets are in the hands of the US government or the Canadian government or the UK government, because you have a loyalty to them, you have an allegiance to them. So if they want you to reveal our national secrets, then you will be required to do so because of your citizenship there. And the fourth reason, right, final reason, is because as a member of the National Assembly, you're required to make contracts for Guyana in the interest of Guyanese. Let's say you are making contracts with ExxonMobil or with some international mining company. You are required to secure the interests of Guyanese. But if you are, for example, making a contract with ExxonMobil and you are a citizen of the United States, where ExxonMobil originates, then it is quite likely that you will not secure the interests of Guyana. You will be tempted to secure the interests of the United States or the other country where you have citizenship and where these companies are trying to get access to oil resources. Which brings me to the bonus reason, the final reason, and that is because of intellectual property. Now, when I visited Singapore back during my last sabbatical, one of the stories I was told is that the Singapore government heard George W. Bush planning to ban the use of stem cells in research. And they decided that since America is not going to get into stem cell research, then Singapore is going to fill the vacuum. In other words, they're going to take up that gap. And that's how I ended up in Singapore. I was recruited to work as a scientist in Singapore to do that. They were securing intellectual property. The fact is that the future of the world, right, the wealth of the world is in intellectual property. Nations that have intellectual property will make up the future wealthy nations of the world. And we need people to see that, especially people who are managing or leading in our National Assembly, who are able to understand that our intellectual property must be secured in the interest of Guyana. So the bonus reason is that if you are not a citizen of Guyana alone, you're a citizen of the US or Canada or some other country, then you are not sensitive to protecting our intellectual properties. And I've actually seen that firsthand in places like UG and ISD, where I confronted them and said, look, Guyanese should not be publishing our intellectual property in foreign journals because those journals are owned by corporations in the United States and Canada. And therefore, we are giving up. When you publish a journal article in a foreign journal, you're required to sign over the copyrights, to give away your copyrights to that journal. And when you do that to a foreign journal, you're giving away wealth to a foreign company or a foreign country, in this case, the United States and Canada. But they couldn't see this because they are citizens of those countries. They could not see the argument that Guyanese intellectual property should be secured and kept in Guyana for Guyanese. So those are my 5 reasons, guys. Tell me what you think about this recent requirement that members of the National Assembly be sole citizens of Guyana and all dual citizens should be and must be excluded. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about this issue. Remember, you can support this channel on Patreon, on PayPal, and now you can purchase merchandise online. And share this video with friends and family around the world and let them know what is happening in Guyana. Later!